and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you getting into my weekly check-in, week 1 of the month of June. So we have a lot going on here. Part of it was in May, part of it was in June. To fit it on the calendar, I put May here, starting on the 28th, going into the month of June. A lot of times I will have money spent in the previous month when it's my spending categories, and then that goes into being paid for in the next month. So I like to track it here on the calendar, and I had a lot, and we had several days. A lot was going on, and I had to figure out when to stop the previous month and start the next, and I kind of did it a couple days earlier than I normally would. Just a lot of transactions happening. I knew I only had so much money in May, and I had to use June to cover. So we're going to go through all the numbers and figure out what we spent and what's going on with the yellow, because if you know me, the yellow is not good. It's unbudgeted. It's supposed to come out of the buffer of the checking account. I really don't have that kind of money, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but there was something I needed, and I'm going to continue to do it throughout this month, and I'm just going to put it in yellow and carry it over and decide at the end of the month. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but right now we're going to start with the usual grocery household. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. This is my spending calendar, so I can see what I spent each and every day. I have stickers that I color code, kind of like highlighters, for each category, and I can look at it and go, I know what that's about. I know what that's about really quickly in my head. And then I have my weekly check-in. So I start with the total amount I need for the entire month, or what I want for the entire month, and then I subtract down. So as I see the number getting smaller, if it looks like it's not going to divide out with the number of weeks left, we might have a problem. So I have to keep that in mind, and I got a big sticky note here to remind me I do have a subscribe and save. The estimate's $145. That usually comes out of grocery household because they're monthly supplements that my entire family takes, vitamins and things like that. And then I also have a refrigerator water filter thing, and that will be coming at the end of the month as well. So that's included in this. Usually this is only $100 or just under $70 to $100. This time it's going to be $145 because that filter, and it's once every 6 months. So this will happen again in December, and I needed a way to remind myself to make sure I block off enough to cover this at the end of the month. I wasn't doing so hot before. Okay, so let's go back to the monthly calendar here where I put everything, and we're going to take our notes that I've already rewritten or wrote over here on my June weekly check-in week 1, and we're just going to start with the pink ones. Again, grocery household. I'm not going to go through the details of what we bought. It's the typical groceries most families buy. The price fluctuates based on what's happening in the economy and things like that. So this is our typical meats, milk, eggs, bread, cheeses and snacks and drinks and all that stuff. So that is what we have here, and I either buy it in small chunks, just a few to get me through to the next week, or I buy it in several chunks. And then I also order things on Amazon that can be cheaper actually than what my local grocery store is. So I do that as well, and it comes to my door, so that's kind of cool. So the first one I have here is $60.36. The next one I have is a grocery pickup for meats and all the big items. That's $69.53. And then I know between these two, the $31.97 and the $40.53, they are, I know I got Ziploc bags. I know I got mouthwash, a large bottle of mouthwash for my oldest son. He has a specific one that he uses, a tea tree leave-in conditioner, a big bottle of that usually lasts every 6 months, and things like that. So that they actually, because they are so large in size, they actually cost quite a bit. So that was those two orders right there. I don't remember which one exactly was which, but I got that. I do know at some point I did order, I think one of these orders also had like Ziploc bags, like the large 60 or 80 count. My store never has them on the shelf, and I am just not going to drive all the way. I know it sounds really far, 15 minutes down the road to Walmart or something and find it. I've like acclimated to this very rural, small town kind of feel. And if I go more than 5 miles, I'm like, I don't, I don't want to do it. It's pretty sad, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'll just go to Amazon and order it because it's about the same price, and I get it to my door, so I ain't worried about that. The last thing I have is 97.71 here. I did a midweek grocery pickup. I'm trying to remember what I got there. I know what I got because I went to the pharmacy first, and then I got the groceries, and I was in the store. And it's very dangerous for me to be in the store because I always buy more than what I need. I'll see something on sale, I'll stock up on stuff, and they got me again. I'm pretty sure I didn't need everything, but I will consume everything based on what's our family uses over time. Sometimes it's a good thing to stock up, sometimes it's not, and I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. So I'm going to go ahead and total up all the groceries here, and then we're going to move on to restaurants. So it's $3.99.92 for, how many days was that? 7 days, it looks like. So yeah, that's a whole week's worth right there. It's more than I normally would want to spend in a week. I think for this month, I would want under $3.75, but it's not too far over, but it's still a little alarming, and I'm just going to have to spend less next week, and that's the goal. I'm going to try to be very minimal when it comes to spending next week. Today, I am counting it as a no spend because I'm not spending today, because this weekend I'm going to have to figure out a lot of things. Today is actually my dad's birthday, and so tomorrow we're having a birthday party for my son with the neighbors, and my dad's coming over, and so we're kind of celebrating both of them, but it's actually a party for my son. And then on this day, which is my son's actual birthday, that's when we're going to go to the Cincinnati Zoo, which I had birthday money put aside for, and spend money there. So these two are going to be heavy spend days, but most of that's going to come out of my sinking funds, and you'll see in my sinking funds closeout video how that worked out. I have the setup video for next week, I think, and you'll see that then, but for right now, just the closeout video. We'll have what we actually did, so check that out at the end of the month. But now we're going to restaurants, and a lot of eating out happened. I think we spent everything we had for the first 2 weeks of the month of June. So it was one of those crazy appointment times and days and not home, and so it just kind of threw a wrench in everything, but I think we'll be okay. The first thing I have here is this $7.73. I needed a Chick-fil-A run. I had to go and get my morning Chick-fil-A. I just really needed it. And some time with myself and just kind of treat myself a little bit, and that's what I did there. Then later that day, my husband and no, it wasn't that day. It was like the next day, because that's what that arrow means. Everything happened here on Friday. Even these two happened on Friday. And so my husband took our youngest son for an appointment to get his military ID updated, and that was kind of a fiasco. And they stopped at McDonald's for lunch, and it was $24. He rounded it up for some charity or something like that. And then while they were gone, my oldest son and I, and my sons are in their 20s, but they're autistic, so they're with us all the time. We went to Buc-ee's. I don't know if you know what Buc-ee's is, but if you know Buc-ee's, you know Buc-ee's. And they sell these barbecue sandwiches. These pulled pork barbecue sandwiches are really, really good. And so we got 2 of those, and I think I got a soda or something like a Coke. I think I picked up a Coke. That was $18.38. Their sandwiches are like this big and around. and I couldn't even eat all of mine. I'm not a big barbecue sandwich. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. And I couldn't eat it all, so my husband ate the rest of it for lunch the next day. There was enough for both of us, so that's pretty cool. And then over here that night for dinner, that was lunch right there. And then again for dinner, let's see, my sons ordered their pizza, had them delivered. That's $35.53. And then Casa Fiesta is a Mexican restaurant near our home. That's $55.80. My husband got a couple drinks, and then we got a couple meals, and then we always have leftovers, so it stretches, and I think he left a $10 tip. So that's that. We always include tip with our eating out. Next, I have B-dubs. I wasn't feeling good. I didn't even go to church. Y'all, I always go to church. And I was feeling so bad this day. I couldn't even go to church. And I was so sad because our pastor is going on sabbatical for a couple months for the summer. He'll be back in August, and for enrichment training, and he just had his second baby, and so cute. Oh my goodness. And so we, as a church, we're like, take a couple months off and come back after being rested and refreshed and spending time with your family. And he's taken some courses and stuff. And so, yeah, I really wanted to go, but I just wasn't feeling good. So $46.23, which means I didn't really cook either. Nobody else in my house knows how to cook, so I didn't really cook. There's that. And then I treated myself to another Chick-fil-A, and I am going to stop with this Chick-fil-A thing. I don't need it anymore. I've had enough, and so hopefully for a while I won't be going back. But that's $7.73 there, and that is all the eating out. Okay, so we spent in total $195.40, leaving us no money for this weekend. But again, because it's birthday time, I do have money in the birthday account, and so sinking fund, and I can use that for what we buy for this weekend. So that won't be on here. That will be on my sinking funds closeout, and that's kind of saving us this month after having all that spending last weekend. So that's kind of crazy. All right, the next thing we have is miscellaneous, and miscellaneous is in this green. I try not to use it too much, but I do use it. I do have, now that I think about it, I ordered this a week ago. I'm hoping this should be in the mail today. $11 and let's see, no, what's the first one? Oh, Walgreens. So Father's Day is coming up. If you have not bought your Father's Day cards, here's your PSA. Go buy Father's Day cards if that's what you traditionally do. $27.09. I bought my husband a card. I bought my father-in-law a card from us, our family, to him. And then I bought my dad one. And then my sons bought one for their dad. So my husband, obviously. And so there was 4 Father's Day cards. And we always get like really funny, and they're usually the most expensive and things like that. So if you're getting 4 cards right now, it's averaging $27.09. That's what we spent at Walgreens. We just happened to be picking up a prescription. I think that prescription actually went in May. Because I had more money in May. Yeah, that Walgreens there. And then this one I brought over into June. Yeah, we were there for a prescription with my son, and then while we were there, we were looking at birthday cards and Father's Day cards and all that stuff, and that's worked out pretty well. And we should be done with the cards for the holidays for quite a while. We normally only get them for Mother's Day, Father's Day, and birthdays, and we had a lot of birthdays in June, so we've been very heavy on the cards at the beginning of the year. Middle of the year, not so much. And sometimes at the end of the year, I do Christmas cards, but people aren't doing Christmas cards like they used to. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll keep doing it. Anyways, next thing I have is Shutterfly back in March of this year, $11.98. If you saw any of my videos then, in March, I had taken my oldest son to Lexington Con, and that's just a convention where you meet celebrities and voice actors and wrestlers and all kinds of comic people and writers and stuff like that. So I went to the convention and met a bunch of people, and I took a bunch of pictures, and you can pay to have your picture taken with the celebrity at the table, as a selfie. So it's on your phone. They're your pictures. You can do whatever you want with them. And I hadn't had them printed yet. And my son always gets them printed, and then I puts them in with the autographs he gets. And so I went ahead and finally got those on Shutterfly. And I need to check on that because they haven't come in yet. And I get the slowest free, kind of, or close to free or minimal amount of shipping I have to pay. I think I did pay shipping because it wasn't this much. And so it's taken me a little bit to get them. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I am back. You won't know this, but I know this. I had to leave for a little while, and I'm back. I had to help someone at church, and they called and while I was filming, so I'm trying to remember where I left off. Thankfully, my church is like 5 minutes down the road, and I'm there and back in 20 minutes, so it's not that big a deal. But at the same time, I was like, I'm in the middle of something, but that's okay. I think I left off here with Etsy, $7.41. I wanted some more designs like this for the upcoming months. And I think I got... Okay, I'll show you what I got on Etsy, which is kind of cute. It's for 4th of July designs and for myself, and they were just adorable. And I got the little clip art that went with it. But these are the background sheets. This one right here with the flag and the hydrangea is just beautiful. And I love hydrangeas. My great-grandmother had a hydrangea that was massive in her side yard and at her home. And I grew up seeing that thing and thought it was the most amazing thing. And I always think of her when I look at them. I have a few hydrangeas myself, and I love these little pom-pom things. I don't only use stickers and design and cut my own stickers for this planner. I have a weekly planner, an hourly actually, planner from Erin Condren as well, and I use these similar backgrounds, and I plan out my weeks and all the appointments and all the things, and it's just a good way of me sitting down and doing this really nice brain dump with something beautiful and decorative to look at that just really inspires me. And so for $7.41, I don't think that's a bad deal if you can do your own. And that's what I typically do. So that is everything for miscellaneous. So I'm going to go ahead and total these up. Now it's $46.48. Now we're moving on to gasoline. We only had a couple transactions. One was actually a gasoline purchase. I filled up my tank for $61.53, and I also went to the car wash. Sometimes if I actually do the car wash thing, and it's one of the tidal wave car wash, I don't know what else to call it's like one of those technicolored light rainbow shows with a bunch of suds and sprayers and scrubbers and stuff for your car. So I just did a wash and dry kind of thing, and in and out and done. So I had to do it because my windshield was splattered with so much goo from cicadas. We have had a brood of cicadas that just exploded here in my area, and the debris from them is all over the highway. It's really, really disturbing, to be honest with you. So we have 4 more weeks of this loud cicada singing, and this is a brood that kind of happens every, I don't know if it's every 7, 10, or 50 years, maybe even 100 years. I don't know. But this is real, you can't even be outside and enjoy the weather. They are so loud, and it's just a pain. So anyway, in fact, I have to edit my videos in a way that you don't hear them by removing background noises. I never had to do that before, and all of a sudden I have to do that because you can hear them chirping so loudly in the background. $61.53 plus the $21, and that is $82.53. All right, I had one copay yesterday, which was Myers Pharmacy, my prescription, $2.59. Now these yellow items you see here, Dr. Odell. Dr. Odell is a chiropractor. I love my chiropractor. He's a great guy. My back was starting to hurt pretty bad here. Bad enough that I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I just know I'm going to track it. And if I can get it into our budget, I will, but I don't know how. So the initial setup, he had to do a reevaluation of me. He as a chiropractor, and he did the reevaluation. That was like $70 plus the chiropractic visit. So $45. Let's see. It was total 70 minus the 45. So $25 for the examination, a thorough head-to-toe examination of where my body is at that point in time when he saw me. And the cool thing about seeing him was I haven't seen him in a year. I haven't gone back in a year. We couldn't afford it, as you could see. And so when I went back, he's like, you have improvement in all areas with your neck and your ability to like touch your toes and, posture. And there was improvement in all that. And I hadn't seen him in a year. Well, in that year, I stopped. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I stopped wearing my Fitbit. I had a Fitbit Luxe. And before that, I had, for 5 years, a Fitbit HR. And when the Fitbit HR died, the Fitbit Luxe is what I bought myself. And after I got that Luxe, I was in so much pain in my shoulder and my neck, and he and I could not figure out why. And I saw a reel where a chiropractor took an Apple watch off somebody, and it was his own employee actually, and he did the head range of motion with the watch on and then head range of motion with the watch off, and he did better with the watch off. And I thought that was kind of strange. Okay, what is emitting from my watch? And it's not an Apple, so I'm wondering maybe this is the problem. And it's an easy test. You just stop wearing the watch, and I took it off for a week. Then I tried it again, I put it back on, and those pains came back. In that week, I did feel better, and it wasn't as bad. And over time, I felt a lot better. But I remember going to Doc Odell going, hey, I can't even reach my hands around my back. Like if I wanted to tie my apron in my back, or just reach around and just whatever with my clothes, and I couldn't reach around. I couldn't do it. I couldn't move but to a certain point. And as soon as I stopped wearing that Fitbit, it went away. And I thought, oh my gosh. And I have the same problem with AirPods. Like my dad gave me a set that was his, and I get headaches when I have them in, so I don't use them. I can't use them. So I'm hypersensitive. And the fact that he tested me a year later after not having the Fitbit watches on, and I still improved, just tells me there's something going on there. So if you're having a problem, and I don't know if this is for everybody or just certain people like me, that might be a problem. So just give that a consideration. But I digress. This 119, I want to say, is a combination of things. So $25 for the actual evaluation, plus $45 for the chiropractic, because they put you on a table, and it's not a massage table, but it's for your lumbar region and your shoulders, and it just rolls over your back and forth. And then they have these like little electronic things on you. I don't know what they do, but they tingle a little bit, and then you lay on the table with the rolly things, and they're just amazing, and it feels amazing, and helps massage some things out and work out some kinks. And then I can only do that for 6 weeks. After that, or 6 times, and then after that I can't use it again. Medically is what is being advised. But I also do stretches. He also has other equipment there that I use. And then he does my chiropractic, where he does my actual adjustments. And that's where I'm at right now. And I feel a lot better. I'm not completely there, but I held my original chiropractic adjustments for that year. and then I could start feeling them kind of slip and needing to be adjusted back. So I'm glad I got a year off, and I hate that I have to come back, but I do. So there's that, $45 for that. And then that's the $70. And then I think it's $49. There is an annual membership with his chiropractic. So if I go out of town and there is a doctor that's part of this membership and I need an adjustment, I can use that and get those rates. So this is for a year's membership, and I always get that, and it gives me a discount to $45 instead of higher price for my actual visits. And so that was $119 for all of that. And then each visit after that was $45. So I'm going twice a week for this month, and then I'm going to go every other week going into the next month. And I'm going to taper back until I really get into the rhythm of what I can really afford. I am hoping for financial changes and praying for that in the future. There is a potential for that, but it could be a couple months down the road. So that might change what we do and how we spend and stuff like that. So not as a, what do you call it? Oh, I forgot to check that off. Lifestyle creep, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about medically necessary, that we know this is healthy for us, for me anyway. So $45 here, $45 here, and that should be everything. Now I did have one bill that got charged to the credit card. Yeah, I checked everything off here. And that bill, I'll go to my weekly check-in. That bill was the Spectrum bill here. That's the only one that's come in so far. And TRICARE hasn't come out. Hulu hasn't hit yet. So that might be week 2. Now that I have all my information, we're going to go here. Okay, so now I'm at my weekly check-in. Now my weekly check-in, all this spending went on the credit card. And I have to pay the credit card back with the cash that came in, because I budgeted out of the cash that got deposited at first of the month for this week. And I can pay that all, just pay it all back. That's what I'm doing. So when it comes to my spending categories, I am paying that every month. And first thing I have here is this spent. So I'm going to go ahead and write in everything I spent that I showed you before. And then we'll come back together and do the balances. So I'll be right back. Oh, I didn't get my total for unbudgeted. I just checked it off. So let me do that real quick with you guys. So that was $209 so far this month. I expect over $400. So there we go. All right. Thus far is $209 in unbudgeted. And I'm going to go ahead and get my red pen out. I'm just going to carry this balance as these appointments happen. So I have a number at the end of the month and I can make a decision from there. So this is always negative because it's unexpected. And if I don't have a plan and I don't have a place to get the money from, then I really have to take a look at this and go, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? But it's just going to sit on the credit card just like the debt does. Okay, so I have all these balances down, and we are going to go ahead and get a total number here for what I have for each category, and then we're going to see if we have enough for the rest of the month. We do, but I mean, how to divide it. Keeping in mind the end of the month, because I go from a Friday to Thursday, and because everything happens payday on the beginning of the weeks, kind of throws things off a little bit. So the 29th is here. But I will probably do week, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 27th. 3 days, 27th, 28th, and 29th will be my week 5 to close out the month. So I'll do a 4-week weekly check-in. And then on the 5th week will be these last 3 days, and it'll be whatever money's left over in the checking account. I just need to make sure I have enough, not only for my Amazon that's going to happen here, but also the weekend spending that we normally do. Now I can take some of that and push it to this payday, which is the first of the next month for us, and figure that out. But this is a no spend day because of that. And I don't have to spend on Sunday. I can wait till Monday to get groceries. So I need to strategically plan that. So that's what we're going to do here. So I have $1,500 I planned for the entire month, and we spent $399.92. All right, so that's $1,100.08. That's what we have left. I'm going to go ahead and do check marks all the way down, and then an X here, because I have not paid that, but I have paid all of this. So I want to make sure I keep that in mind. This is just notes to myself. These are shorthand notes for myself. So what I can do here is I know I have about $145 that are going to come out grocery household for the Amazon thing on the last of the month. All right, so it's $955.08, and I'm going to divide that. I'm going to say 3 weeks, and I'm going to try to save enough to do a grocery pickup that weekend. Actually, I might just push it, because lately I've been getting groceries here, and I might push it to this day here, whatever happens here. But Friday and Saturday I will make part of this budget to close out. I think that's what I might do. And this is why budgeting is good and helpful. You talk it out to yourself, you talk it out with your partner, you find out, okay, this is where our money is, this is what I need to remember. Let's go from there. So we're going to divide it by the next 3 weeks for sure. $318 per week is what we're looking at. We could do that. It's less than I hope, but more than enough that we can actually make it through. So grocery household for the next 4 weeks is good. The eating out, I don't know. I hope we don't go over budget. Luckily, part of it's coming from birthday, Christmas money that I put aside, so for this weekend, but the rest of the weekends, I'm not sure about. $400 is what I gave myself. I've already gone through the first 2 weeks of all the money already because of what's been going on, and minus the $195.40. And we could have planned that out a lot better, but we didn't, so we just let it ride. And it's warm. It's summer. We want to do some fun things. We want to go some places. We want to go out to eat as family and just enjoy time out. And so these things are going to cost more. And if you don't plan for them and like add more money to these categories, they're going to be strained. And that's what you're going to see us going through. So $204.60 divided by the next 3 weeks is $68. That's definitely not enough. All right, so divided by 2 weeks, that's $100 a week. We can do that. So this week too, probably no eating out. I'm going to take out a birthday, Christmas money because that is what we're celebrating for the eating out. And we're not going to have that affect week 2. So we're going to bring that $200 down to week 3 and 4, and we should be fine. And hopefully there's money left over in that 5th week of the month, those last couple of days, so we can actually, enjoy that weekend as well without going into the next month. Miscellaneous, I have $150 that I put aside, and that is $46.48. And we still have $100 left over there. Oops. $103. The stickers are getting really thick, so the paper bends a little bit. $3.52. And then gasoline, we had 225 minus the 82.53 and 142.47. All right, we're still looking good there. Over the next 3 weeks, we're looking at $47 a week. We don't buy gas weekly. Normally, it's just my car. And then an extra trip out of town and back. So that's why this is still considered high. I think at some point this month, I'm supposed to pick up my father-in-law, but we haven't made plans for that just yet. And then $75 minus the $259. Okay, so that we still have $72.41. We should have one doctor's appointment copay, which is $25. I know I have a prescription to pick up tomorrow. It's only $3 to $5, something like that. And then that's all I have for right now. So we should be fine. If I have copay money left over at the end of the month, I'll use that to pay down this unbudgeted because it is kind of medical and things like that. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. And there we go. So these numbers just move down here. Again, these were all on the credit card. I made all the payments except for the Dr. Odell. And that's okay for right now. I'm not going to do that again next month. I'm going to make a plan for next month for sure to get that taken care of. 52. And then 142.47 and 72.41. And then my negative here. I want to make sure every week I'm tracking this until I figure out how to pay for it. All right, so weekly check-in is done. The only thing I have left is what is the total I had to pay the credit card, and that is what we're going to look at here. So with the credit card, I'm going to total all this up. I'm going to include this one bill that I planned for, that I had the cash and went ahead and paid for. And then that'll tell me how much I had to pay the credit card. So in total. Now, I did not include this number because I didn't pay it back, and I don't plan to right now. So the rest of these were $839.92. I made that payment this morning, and we are good to go. So that is my weekly check-in. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.
As a young girl, the fields were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free,